Welcome back, Dark Passengers. We are now going further into character breakdown series of Dexter franchise. So today we're diving deep into the episode 2 of our character breakdown series, which is on Sergeant James Stokes, the alleged Bay Harbor butcher, who is played on the Dexter series by Eric King, and is the man who is owner of the iconic line "Surprise, motherfucker." Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into the darkness. Sergeant James Stokes, the alleged Bay Harbor butcher. Full life timeline. 1963 to 1980, early life and military foundations. Full name, James Stokes. Born, 1963, approximately, Miami, Florida. Ethnicity, Afro-Caribbean American. Occupation, former U.S. Army Ranger, Sergeant, Miami Metro Homicide Division. Known alias, label, falsely deemed the Bay Harbor Butcher by Miami Metro, FBI in Dexter. Personality, disciplined, aggressive, blunt, and morally unflinching. The only real question I have is why, in a building full of cops, all supposedly with a keen insight into the human soul, is Stokes the only one who gets the creeps from me? Dexter Morgan. At the core of Stokes' personality is the man he was molded into during his military career. While much of what he actually did is unknown, he himself says that he's spent years looking the enemy in the face, and I'm telling you, Morgan is dangerous. This keen instinct was built for a world outside the law, where he had to be a killer as part of unit. Like Dexter, he's able to get a sense about someone that they're a fellow passenger, someone with the need to kill within them. Among the terrible people he went up against was a man named Jacques Bayard, who at the time of his death seemed no more than a middle-aged Haitian man, was actually a former officer in the Haitian military and part of a death squad called the Tonton Macoutes, the Boogeyman. These squads did a lot of terrible things, killing many people, such as making mothers carry the heads of their dead sons, forcing fathers to rape their daughters. They'd tie cinder blocks around people's necks to drown them and put mutilated bodies in trees, killing anybody who tried to take them down. These kind of horrors are some of the experiences that Stokes has had with killers, and why his instincts hone in on Dexter. To everyone at Miami Metro, he appeared to be a stern, driven detective with a hard-ass stance against crime, with his mannerisms likely attributed to his military background. He often wore a stern expression and was quick to take control of any crime scene, issuing orders to detectives, officers and forensic techs, his commanding voice a constant reminder not to slack off at his crime scene. He took his work seriously, always following every step by the book and never skimping on taking details. When speaking with witnesses, he was clear and concise, able to read the room when choosing the etiquette for his interviews. Unlike the rest of Homicide, he often didn't partake in the often deviant banter that Vince Masuka and Angel Batista cooked up, though he did insert several stoic quips to add to gags around the office with people like Deborah Morgan and Maria LaGuerta. With LaGuerta in particular, he was able to let down his defenses, relax with her and smile freely, this trait absent with almost everyone else around him aside from a few instances with Deborah. Other than around those two, he kept his private life fairly separate from his work life and was never seen during off hours enjoying the company of any of his co-workers, which is noted later in his life as being a man who doesn't keep many friends. Even his own family he can barely seem to tolerate, considering what he has left to his mother and 2 sisters. Despite that, he retains contacts within the military reaching far enough up the chain to close one of his internal affairs cases without recourse, though to what degree he kept in contact with them is unclear beyond instances where he needed them for a case. He was not shy on smirking though, often combined with a laser-focused stare when his instincts about someone flared up. In particular, he was able to see something wrong about Dexter Morgan before anyone else could, following a case the two of them worked on early in his tenure at the department. This same smirk accompanied a fearless approach to dangerous criminals. Stokes would often take risky moves to put pressure on criminals such as Carlos Guerrero and Little Chino, with little concern for his own well-being, which for Guerrero landed him in hot water. Due to his physical stature, he would often be intimidating to almost everyone he encountered, and he had the skills to back it up. This made him a threat to even someone like Dexter. Background: grew up in a rough Miami neighborhood, learned early that strength and control meant survival. Known for his temper and sense of justice, even as a kid, never backed down from bullies or corruption. Joins the U.S. Army, serving in Special Forces, often referenced in Dexter Season 1 to 2. Excels in covert operations, hand-to-hand combat, and tactical surveillance. Develops a black and white moral worldview, sees evil as something to be eradicated, not reasoned with. Early life and military service, 1962 till the 1990s, born 1962 in Miami, or nearby, to a mother and father, 2 sisters. At some point joined the U.S. Army Rangers, Special Operations. Served in covert, military operations, developing his strong discipline, combat skills, and moral rigidity. 1980 to 1995, military career. Branch, U.S. Army Special Forces. Role, Black Ops operative, covert intelligence missions. Service highlights, operates in classified missions across Central and South America, primarily in Guatemala and Nicaragua. Gains the nickname, the Human Pitbull, known for precision, control, and zero tolerance for weakness. Witnesses atrocities during counterinsurgency work, deepens his hatred of hypocrisy and moral corruption. Eventually discharged, honorably or medically, depending on timeline version, likely due to PTSD and violent outbursts. 1995 to 2000, joining Miami Metro PD. Transition, returns to Miami and joins Miami Metro Homicide. Rise through the ranks, introduced as a rising Miami Metro officer, ex-Special Forces operative newly assigned under Captain Tom Matthews. Detective right-pointing arrow sergeant, works alongside Harry Morgan, who is mentoring a young Dexter. Known for discipline, interrogation prowess, and intimidation-based policing. Becomes a key part of the Homicide Division's tactical team. Known for his intense disdain for corruption and his ability to sense deceit. DOAKES radar. You act all friendly, but I see it, man. There's something dark behind those eyes. 2000 to 2005, The Predator's Shadow. By this time, DOAKES is a seasoned homicide sergeant at Miami Metro. Begins noticing anomalies in Dexter Morgan's cases. Every killer Dexter helps catch seems too cleanly finished. Feels Dexter's cold detachment, something inhuman beneath the polite facade. Dexter, meanwhile, nicknames him Sergeant Stare, noting his intuition and hostility. Their mutual awareness becomes an unspoken game of predator versus predator, each sensing the other's nature, but in opposite moral poles. 2006-2007, The Bay Harbor Butcher Case, Dexter Seasons 1 to 2, position, Sergeant, Miami Metro Homicide. DOAKES age, early 40s. Season 1, 2006-2007, The Instinct. DOAKES becomes increasingly wary of Dexter's behavior, his calmness around blood, his weird detachment, inconsistencies. Distrusts Dexter from the beginning, constantly watches him, tails him, challenges his every move. His military-honed instincts detect Dexter's pattern, calm around blood, detached from empathy. He often calls Dexter creepy or strange, sensing something darker. When the ice truck killer case unfolds, DOAKES senses Dexter's emotional void and hates him for it. Oh, you creep me the fuck out, Morgan. Season 2, 2007, The Bay Harbor Butcher arc, The Hunt. When the Bay Harbor Butcher case emerges, bodies of Dexter's victims found in ocean bags, Miami Metro plus FBI bring in special team. DOAKES becomes obsessed. DOAKES becomes convinced Dexter might be involved. He actively investigates Dexter, placing trackers, following Dexter. Breaks into Dexter's apartment, steals blood slides, follows him into the Everglades. Finally confronts Dexter, confirming his suspicions that Dexter is the killer. After DOAKES' death, the evidence is arranged such that he is posthumously declared by the FBI to be the Bay Harbor Butcher. Capture and downfall. Dexter eventually confronts DOAKES in the Everglades cabin. Dexter overpowers him, subdues him, locks him up and imprisons him in a remote cabin in the Everglades. Dexter debates killing him but hesitates. DOAKES represents moral consequence. Before Dexter can decide, Leela Tournay, Dexter's lover, a British vampire as said by Deborah Morgan, finds the cabin and blows it up, killing DOAKES instantly. Miami Metro finds the remains and evidence planted by Leela. After DOAKES' death, the evidence is arranged such that he is posthumously declared by the FBI to be the Bay Harbor Butcher. 2007 to 2013, post-death and posthumous reputation. Official record, James DOAKES equals Bay Harbor Butcher. Miami Metro closes the case. Dexter privately feels guilt, knowing the truth but remaining silent. DOAKES is remembered as an aggressive, paranoid, disgraced cop. DOAKES' death ends his direct presence on the show, but his legacy remains. He was the only major character who truly saw Dexter for what he was, or suspected. His name is used by Dexter later to deflect suspicion. For instance, in Season 7 of Dexter, flashbacks show Doakes' suspicion and his relationship with LaGuerta. Only Maria LaGuerta, his close friend and superior, suspects the truth. Her investigation later leads to her own death, Season 7. Doakes died for being right. Dexter Morgan, Season 7. Doakes appears as a hallucinatory figure, coma state, and my immersion in him that you frames asks promise, quotes, Detective Pullman what episode done. This representation of Doakes serves as a metaphysical presence, not a living character. Quotes most of Doakes' famous quotes are insults or curse words. As such, he is the second most famous character to use swear words, vastly behind the creative Deborah Morgan. He is especially notable for his constant use of the term motherfucker. Dexter, voiceover, the only real question I have is why in a building full of cops, all supposedly with a keen insight into the human soul, is Doakes the only one who gets the creeps from me? Doakes to Dexter, surprise, motherfucker. Episode, Born Free, Doakes mouths the words just before his death, motherfucker. Episode, The British Invasion, Doakes to Dexter, as he and Detective Pullman watch Dexter's expression as he stares at a dead victim, you getting a goddamn hard on there, Morgan. Episode, Circle of Friends, Doakes to Dexter, after arresting Jeremy Downs, your instincts are always dead on when it comes to killers. Why is that? Episode, Circle of Friends, Doakes to Dexter, oh, and you owe me a new Michelin, you motherfucker. Doakes to Dexter, stop grinning like a fucking psycho and get back to work. Doakes to Masuka, in response to Masuka's hypochondria, Masuka, what did I say about the fucking rats? Episode, Love American Style. Character overview, trait description, moral compass unwavering, sees right and wrong as absolutes. Temperament aggressive, confrontational, brutally honest. Relationship with Dexter antagonistic but deeply perceptive, saw Dexter's truth before anyone. Fatal flaw righteous isolation, his blunt integrity made him a target of manipulation. Symbolism justice misunderstood, the innocent accused. Post-death function voice of conscience and truth in Dexter's psyche, resurrection. Lifeline summary table. Year age event 1963 0 born in Miami, Florida 1980s, 90s 20s serves in U.S. Army Rangers, Army Special Forces, Special Ops, 1991 28 Original Sin, works with Harry Morgan, distrusts young Dexter 1995 32 joins Miami Metro PD. 2037 promoted to Sergeant 2005 42 suspicious of Dexter's odd behavior. 2006 43 Dexter Season 1, distrust deepens, begins suspecting Dexter Morgan. This representation of Doakes serves as a metaphysical presence, not a living character. Quotes most of Doakes' famous quotes are insults or curse words. As such, he is the second most famous character to use swear words, vastly behind the creative Deborah Morgan. He is especially notable for his constant use of the term motherfucker. Dexter, voiceover, the only real question I have is why in a building full of tense men tragic figure, turn in resurrection, his bait in his pursuit of truth. Tragic figure, he dies for being right, but having been framed as the villain, Bay Harbor Butcher. Symbolic return in resurrection, his hallucination shows he becomes the moral conscience or witness for Dexter's inner turmoil. What might come in the prequel? If Doakes appears in Original Sin, it would deepen his backstory and relationship with Dexter before everything broke. Legacy summary, Truth Seer, the only man who ever saw through Dexter completely. Martyr of justice, died trying to expose evil, became its scapegoat. Eternal conscience, in resurrection, serves as Dexter's moral reckoning, the balance against Brian Moses' seductive darkness. Final symbolism, Brian equals temptation, Doakes equals judgment, Harry equals code, rationalization. Together, they form the trinity of Dexter's internal world. Disclaimer, fan-made content. This video is a non-profit, fan-made production. It is a work of fiction and speculation created purely for entertainment and as a tribute to the Dexter franchise. We do not own the rights to the characters, names, settings, or any intellectual property, IP, associated with Dexter or Dexter, Original Sin or Dexter, Resurrection or Dexter, New Blood. All original content and IP belong to Showtime, Clyde Phillips, and the respective copyright holders. This video falls under fair use principles as a transformative and non-commercial work. Any resemblance to future or actual Dexter storylines is purely coincidental. Please support the official releases. If this fantasy episode gave you the continuation you've been craving, please consider helping us out. A like and a share truly tells the YouTube algorithm that the Dark Passenger is alive and well. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our next fan creations, and let us know your favorite theory in the comments below.